What's up guys, Gray here. Welcome back to another New World video. In today's video, we are testing something very important. I'm sure you guys have seen my recent videos going into some of the gem scaling numbers on different weapons and different gems and how it all works out. But recently I have been hearing in my comments section that some of the gems might be bugged, that certain tiers of gems actually scale better than some of the higher tier gems. For example, a tier 2 gem is going to give you more damage than a tier 5 gem. Now, this is just a rumor. I haven't been able to test it. That's what we're doing in today's video. We are going to test the intelligence gems and we're going to test the focus gems. We're going to test it all and get to the bottom of it. Now, I do want to clarify a couple things just for clarity's sake, because I think a lot of people are coming in these videos looking for one thing and finding something else. I'm not testing viability here. I'm not telling you to run intelligence on your great axe. We are testing numbers here just to check the scaling on these different gems and the stats and how it all works. There's a lot of testing to be done, a lot of knowledge that needs to be learned about this game. So we are taking it piece by piece, step by step, to break it down and figure it all out. On that same note, if you guys enjoyed the video, please do me a favor and leave a like down below and smash that subscribe button for me. It is costing me nothing short of a small fortune to buy all of these gems and weapons and respec and test all of this stuff. It's very, very expensive. So do me a favor, do the thing, like the video, smash that subscribe button, and let's get right into the testing. So in all of the tests today, guys, we are using a great axe. And I know the great axe scales primarily off of strength, and that's why we're using it, because it's not going to affect the numbers we see by putting points into intelligence and focus while we test these gems. So I wanted to get a baseline of the numbers right off the bat. What I always do here, I respec and I don't have any points in any of my stats. I take off all of my gear, so we don't have any bonus stats. The only stats we have are a little bit coming from the axe itself. We do have a little bit of focus here that we're going to account for, but it's really not going to mess anything up. But at the base, this axe will hit for 224 damage and 314 crit damage, just to get a baseline here so we can see how much things ramp up while we start to add in gems and stats. The first thing we do on part of this test, we are testing the intelligence gems first. So we're going to go ahead and put 150 points into intelligence. A couple things to note here: by speccing into intelligence, there are some very strong passive bonuses. You do get 10% additional crit damage. You also get 15% additional elemental damage. That will affect the damage that comes from the gem that we're using. So that is something to keep in mind, but it will be in effect for every test here, so the numbers aren't being skewed or anything like that. So naturally, on the first test at 150 intelligence, we're going to start with the tier 2 gem here. It's a tier 2 sapphire. This is the lowest tier of gem that you can get. This converts 20% of your damage to arcane. Now you can see right here the damage. We do 179 slash damage and 155 arcane damage. That gives us a total of 334 damage. Now on a crit, we hit for 276 slash and 239 arcane for a grand total there on a crit for 515 damage. That's with the tier 2 gem. I'm going to leave these numbers up on the screen while we test the next gems. Obviously, following that, we slot in the tier 3 gem, and the numbers are as follows. We hit for 157 slash and 182 arcane for a total of 339. Not much more than the gem before it. On the crit, we get 242 damage and 281 arcane for a total of 523. So it's really not a lot more damage between the tier 2 and tier 3 gems, but we're going to keep testing just to go through all of them. Now on the tier 4 gem, again, you can see right here, we hit for 134 slash and 209 arcane damage for a total of 343. On the crit, 207 slash and 323 arcane for a total of 530. And finally, on the tier 5 gem, we are hitting for 112 slash and 236 arcane for a total of 348. And on the crit, we hit for 172 slash and 364 arcane damage for a total of 536. So leaving all the numbers up on the screen here and comparing them from the tier 2 gem all the way up to that tier 5 gem, even on the crit, it's only about a 21 damage difference. It's really not that much. Granted, we are converting a lot more of our damage over to that arcane damage. You see that slash damage start to fall off pretty hard while the arcane damage goes up, but the total damage itself really doesn't go up that much. I mean, it does go up. You are getting more damage technically, but it's not astronomical. It's not like it scales any harder as you move up through the tiers of gems. You're just converting more of that damage over to the elemental damage, and then that is scaling off of the gem. So you do get a slightly bigger number as you convert more and more damage over to that element. So these gems do appear to be functioning properly. The higher tier gems do give a higher total damage. Whether that 21 damage is really worth it to you or not is up to you. There is also the factor that if you are to spec into strength with a great axe, for example, you will see these numbers go up further because obviously the weapon does scale off of strength. Those are things to keep in mind. That's not really what we're here to discuss, but that is worth mentioning if you're using something like this in your build. Now, shifting gears a bit, this is where things are going to start to get interesting because I did say we are also going to test the focus gems, and man, I have heard nothing but bugs and glitches and issues and problems with the Amber gem. It's very, very weird. Obviously, we do know that Amber gem was nerfed prior to launch. They don't scale as hard as the intelligence gems do. So that's something to keep in mind in and of itself, but we are going to run the same test we just did with tiers 2 through 5 of the Amber gem. We're going to test it on the same weapon, same great axe. The only thing we're changing here is that we are respecking yet again. We're removing our points from intelligence. We're going to put them into focus, so we have 150 focus, and then we will run our test here. So there we go, 150 focus, and right off the bat, we're going to start with that tier 2 focus gem. Now the numbers on that, we are hitting for 179 slash and 111 nature damage. That's a total of 290 base damage. On the crit, we see 251 slash and 156 nature damage for a grand total of 407 damage on the crit. So those will be sort of the tier 2 numbers. Keep that in mind because a lot of people were saying the tier 2 gem was busted. It was scaling really hard. That's what I've been hearing. So we'll figure that out right now. We're going to slot in the tier 3 gem and run the same test, obviously. With the tier 3 gem, we hit for 157 slash and 134 nature damage. That gives us a total of 291 damage. Literally 1 damage more. On the crit, we are hitting for 220 slash and 188 nature, giving us a total of 408. Again, only 1 damage more. Why is that? It's like it's not scaling at all. Now, I wasn't expecting like a big jump or anything, but we are converting more damage over to nature, and that bigger number, even if it's scaling off the same value, should be slightly higher, at least by more than 1 damage. It's basically the same number, and the next gem confirms it. When we slot in the tier 4 gem and run the same test, 134 slash damage, 156 nature damage on the base for a total of 290. It actually went back down 1 damage. Again, on the crit, 188 slash, 219 nature damage for a total of 407. We went back down 1 damage on the tier 4 nature gem. What is going on here? Now, finally, even though I think we already know the results, and as much as it pains me to slot this gem into a blue axe, we're going to do it. Tier 5 focus gem, 112 slash damage, 179 nature. And on the crit, we see 157 slash and 251 nature for a total of 408. So what we're seeing here is that it does not matter what nature gem you run. It's not going to give you any more damage. The only thing we do see is that it's really only doing like half of what the gym says. It is converting a set portion of our damage over to nature damage. If 50% of our damage is nature, yeah, that's exactly what the gym is doing. However, the way it's worded implies that that 50% of damage that is converted to nature damage will scale off of focus. We're not seeing any of these numbers go up as we convert bigger and bigger portions. The numbers should go up a little bit like it did with the intelligence gem. So there's a lot that can be seen here. I mean, looking at the intelligence gems, they at least give you a little bit more total damage as you move up in the tiers with the gems in the intelligence side. When it comes to the focus gems, you're not getting any extra damage by putting in a tier 5 gem versus a tier 2 gem. It just doesn't increase anything. The only thing you're doing is converting more damage over to nature. But I really don't see the value in that. But you let me know if you see something that I don't see here. So it's not quite the bug that people were saying. Everyone was saying that the tier 2 gems were scaling super hard and the other ones weren't. You would get more damage out of the tier 2 than you would out of any of the other gems. And that's just not the case, at least when it comes to the focus gems. The intelligence gems, like I said, you do get some more damage there, but it's not life-changing. It's not completely groundbreaking damage or anything like that. It's worded pretty weird in the game. It's pretty vague. That's why we're doing this test, so we can figure it out for ourselves and get the numbers and see it. This isn't to unveil some secret that no one knows about. It's just to run the numbers and share it with everyone so you don't go wasting your money or wasting your time on a gem that you think is going to just shake the earth and change your build, because it probably isn't. So that's it for the video, guys. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about it in the comments. Let's have a discussion. I am loving the interaction with all of you guys on these videos. It's really fun to talk about and discuss. I do have some more videos planned testing specific weapons with specific gems. I know a lot of people want to see their weapon of choice at scale, so I will try and get around to that as soon as I can. But this was a hot topic, and I really wanted to get to the bottom of it and share these numbers with you guys. So if you enjoyed it, do me a favor, leave a like down below, smash that subscribe button for me. Let's talk about it down in the comments, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.